NBCOlympics.com on MSN. Real-time results, video on demand, and live streaming of 25 sports. NBCOlympics.com on MSN.
Now, let's send them a message that will echo from the Rockies all across America. A simple message. Thanks, but no thanks. In this case, the third time is not the charm. My fellow Democrats, 16 years ago, you gave me the profound honor to lead our party to victory and to lead our nation to a new era of peace and broadly shared prosperity. Together, we prevailed in a hard campaign in which the Republicans said I was too young and too inexperienced to be commander-in-chief. Sound familiar? It didn't work in 1992 because we were on the right side of history. And it will not work in 2008 because Barack Obama is on the right side of history. Now, Senator Obama's life is a 21st century incarnation of the old-fashioned American dream. His achievements are proof of our continuing progress toward the more perfect union of our founders' dreams. The values of freedom and equal opportunity, which have given him his historic chance, will drive him as president to give all Americans, regardless of race, religion, gender, sexual orientation, or disability, their chance to build a decent life and to show our humanity as well as our strength to the world. We see that humanity, that strength, and our nation's future in Barack and Michelle Obama and their beautiful children. We see them reinforced by the partnership with Joe Biden, his fabulous wife Jill, a wonderful teacher, and their family. Barack Obama will lead us away from the division and fear of the last 8 years back to unity and hope. So, if, like me, you believe America must always be a place called hope, then join Hillary and Chelsea and me in making Barack Obama the next president of the United States. Thank you, and God bless you. Thank you.
President Bill Clinton and the ready, ready, ready speech. If anybody could roll back that theme from the primary season, he could do it. I think he just did.
The speech had snap, and I thought the best line was the one that had the most snap, which was Hillary told us in no uncertain terms that she'll do everything she can to elect Barack Obama. That makes 2 of us.
And adding then to it, actually, that makes 18 million of us. Again, reinforcing last night's message that if you supported his wife in the primary season, if you were ready to cast your vote for her to be president of the United States, it follows as the night the day you must cast your vote for Obama. And to hear him say it, and to hear him say it with conviction and with 100% of the fastball.
Right.
For all of the commentary, the most disturbing part of the last 8 months had not been what he said, but a sense that maybe he didn't have that full grasp of the political sphere anymore. I think he put that to bed tonight. I think he buried that premise. That was a superb speech, again, superbly delivered. Remember, we were worried, or the Obama camp and the Clinton camp were both worried he might be booed coming out.
Right.
Instead, he got 3.5 minutes of applause before they let him talk.
And I think he gave the keynote point here. Again, I believe politics must be aggressive to be successful. It must be negative in many cases, especially when you're trying to take power back, which is what they're trying to do. Listen to this line. This is the Republican. This is his description of the other team. They want us to reward them for the last 8 years by giving them 4 more. Let's send them a message that will echo from the Rockies all across America. Thanks, but no thanks. In this case, the third time is not the charm. That's what people like to hear, like they liked to hear last night about the Twin Cities and the fact that McCain and Bush are twins. They love that line that you liked as well about the sidekick,
yes,
not the maverick. I think I agree with Pat Buchanan on this one point. This convention needs more of that spark, more of that snap. It's beginning to get it.
And please notice also that in there, amid the snappy lines, the ones that you correctly assess are necessary and useful and you'll carry away, there was also at least one shot towards John McCain's solar plexus. On the 2 great questions of this election, how to rebuild the American dream and how to restore America's leadership in the world, he, McCain, still embraces the extreme philosophy, which has defined his party for more than 25 years. He called John McCain and the Republicans extremists. And as we sit around saying, where is the red meat? It was hidden in there. But that's kind of the attitude that is reflective of much of the Democratic campaign at the grassroots level. And that's what they wanted to hear. And they heard it from a man who had been perceived until recently as being perhaps not fully engaged in this. Right. And again, I think he put that as far to bed as it was possible to be put. Let's go into the Pepsi Center. 2 people who saw this firsthand without the intervention of television. Our special correspondent, Tom Brokaw, and our political director, Chuck Todd. Tom, overall picture on the arc of this speech.
Elvis was back in the hall tonight. It was probably not his greatest performance in terms of sheer poetry. It was kind of painting by the numbers by Bill Clinton's standards. He knew all the markers that he had to hit, and he hit them repeatedly. As you indicated, Keith, I think with such great insight. And the fact is that the theme here was he's ready, he's ready, he's ready. He's ready to be commander-in-chief. They said the same thing about me, and it worked out fine for the 8 years that I was there. I was not surprised by this performance tonight. I don't think Chuck was either.
No, he definitely seemed to embrace his role as being the patriarch of the Democratic Party. It was almost as he's saying, look, let me tell you about my disciple, Barack Obama. The only thing I think Republicans will jump on, I thought, was when he said, with Joe Biden's experience and wisdom, supporting Barack Obama's proven understanding. This has been a theme the Republicans have been trying to jump on, which is Obama's trying to borrow Biden's experience in order to sell himself. And in some ways, this is the only line I thought that jumped out at me that said, all right, the McCain campaign's going to use that line to say, see, he's trying to, this is more proof. Even Bill Clinton thinks that Obama's trying to borrow somebody else's experience and doesn't have the experience on his own. But I'll say the most powerful graph, I think, was when he compared himself in 1992 to Obama in 08. And what I find interesting about it is Bill Clinton was repeatedly asked this question about 92 because Bill Clinton is actually was younger in 92 than Barack Obama is now. And at the time when he was asked that, he said, well, no. I was governor for over a decade. I had dealt with all these things. So you could just tell time heals all wounds, and past statements are past statements.